Good morning, Westlake High School.
This is Hannah Conforto.
And I'm Kane Amy, and this is WHBS TV Friday Morning News.
On September 11, 2001, 1994, Westlake High School graduate Christina Yook was killed in the Twin Towers during the 9/11 attacks. A piece of steel from the towers is now on display at Porter Public Library to honor Christina's memory.
Can you tell us a little bit about what this event was about for Christina?
Mark Boble, who is retired commander in the United States Coast Guard, was actually able to secure a piece of steel from the World Trade Center. And it's very meaningful because Christina, in this very library, hung out a lot. So many years that she spent her time in these very halls. So to have the steel where most of her remains are, and then have a piece of that steel be brought to the library where she spent a lot of her time, is so meaningful, and I think that is what was so impactful about what the event that we had today. So Christina and I met when we were 5 years old at church, but then she actually lived in Westlake, very close to me, and so we were always hanging out. Then Christina and I also went to Lee Bernardson Middle School together and Westlake High School together, and then also University of Michigan together. And she was one grade above me, and my sister was one grade below, so we spent a lot of time together. Because Christina was also an only child, and I had two sisters, it was basically the four of us as sisters that grew up together.
As a first responder and being ground zero that day, could you tell us a little bit about just your experience in general?
Being at 9/11, going through the rubble, these buildings were 110 stories high. That's a quarter mile high, and it was just reduced to rubble. And we just kept saying, where is everybody? Where are the people? And everything was just pulverized. When you think about computers, desks, steel, everything was just gone. And it was really just about 2 or 3 stories of steel remaining.
Christina was somebody who volunteered here at the library and went to Westlake High School, so has a very strong connection to Westlake, and we have a memorial to her in the library already. And because of that, we were eligible to get a piece of what's called relic steel. When we received it, we had to design from scratch a way to display it, and we figured the lobby of the library would be the most visible place that everybody would see it. You can't leave the library without being able to see it, and we thought it would be a really great place for people to stop, reflect, and remember what happened.
Andrew was actually extremely instrumental in getting that steel here. It was also his idea to have a private unveiling, because what they told him was, you want to make sure that you display the steel in a place and a manner that other people can touch it, and that way they can feel close to the event. So he called me and he said, how do you feel if we were to able to have the steel, and when it arrives, the day it arrives in the mail, to have Christina's parents be the first ones to be able to touch it? It's like, I think that would be really meaningful. Christina was someone who would take the time to learn about so many different things so that she could help other people. She really did know the library like the back of her hand. If I needed something, she knew exactly where it was, or she knew how to find it.
At the core of who I am, I'm a historian. I believe in history. I believe that your public library is about knowledge and learning. And to be able to have something as rare as this, typically you'll find relic steel at fire departments and places that I think the average citizen doesn't necessarily go very often, but people do use their public library. And so to be able to use the public library as a venue for transmitting history and people to engage, I think that's what made it so important for me to make this happen. And we came up with an idea that we thought would look really nice, but also honor Christina. So some of the colors, the paint choice is very purplish, which was her favorite color, having the panels that have her picture on it. So incorporating Christina into even though it's a piece of steel and it's that history, we still wanted to incorporate her story into it.
When I was stationed in Hawaii, I went to Hiroshima, so I saw the effect of war. And then on that day at 9/11, when I went down to Ground Zero, I said, wow, this is a war. We were looking for survivors, and that's what we tried to do. We tried to get a lot of the beams out of the way, get it on the trucks, and so we could clear some of the steel so we could try to find survivors. And we did it for a week, and then after that, we had a morgue set up and we had triage, but after the first really 24 hours, there was nothing left.
If you could give any final words to the students or just anybody in Westlake as the community, what would you give?
Don't stop learning. Don't take it for granted. Keeping the memory of Christina alive is so important because she was involved in this community. She volunteered not just at the library, she volunteered at the high school. She was engaged, she was friendly, she was nice, people liked her. Be that person and do great things in the world. Christina was bound for great things in the world before it was tragically ended. So, use that as a lesson to live life. Don't be sad about what happened in the past. Use it to live life. And when you see this memorial, as I said, you'll have a lot of reflections, but one of them can be optimism and hope for the future.
To remember Christina with this corner, it's going to be very visible when people leave, and hopefully it'll have people appreciate what you have, because you don't know how long a time you're going to have on this earth. Never feel sorry for yourself. It's just you got to be resilient and look for hope. Hey, there's no guarantee you're going to be around tomorrow, so you better enjoy every day you can.
Something I would say that I wish I had done more when Christina was alive is to tell her how much she meant to me. So I think a message that I would send would be to say thanks to the person who's next to you and show your gratitude. Just to remember that we're all in this together. Just be kind like her and, make yourself a better person so you can help others. That's how she was.
Westlake High School has a new assistant principal this year.
I was a teacher in Brunswick and out of state for 14 years total, and then I was an administrator last year at Keystone. That's out in Lorain County, and then now I'm here at Westlake. I decided to become an assistant principal because I really enjoy working with students, and I felt like when I was in the classroom, the connections I made with them was what I loved, but I wanted to do that on a bigger level. So I felt if I could become an administrator, I could work with all students and not just be limited to those who were in my classes. I view my role as an assistant principal as somebody here as a support person. I like to be able to support students when they need help with social situations, academic situations. I tend to handle discipline in the way I see best fit. Nobody genuinely wants to be in trouble. So when kids get sent to the office or referrals come through, there's a reason something happened. So I don't just meet with kids and say, oh, you skipped class, or oh, you did this and here's your consequence. I like to talk to the student and find out, what's going on, what's causing, you to make this decision. Are you having a bad day? Something happened at home, something happened with your friends. And so discipline to me is more of a conversation, so that way we can figure out what's causing the decision making to happen that lands them in trouble, and see if we can figure out a game plan to kind of avoid this situation again and make better choices.
And what hobbies do you have outside of Westlake?
Very busy with my kids. My husband and I, we have 3 kids. They're young. Both of our boys play football and they wrestle. Our daughter's a cheerleader, so we're constantly at some sort of game or practice. I am excited to hopefully have, I know this is very cliche, but like a normal school year. I love being around the students, having, activities after school, the sports. The kids here at Westlake are so kind and friendly. I've loved meeting everybody that I've met. The teachers here seem to be amazing. They've been wonderful and welcoming. So I'm just really excited to join this really positive, kind community.
In sports, football varsity is 3-1, volleyball is 10-0, girls soccer is 5-2, boys soccer is 6-0, girls golf team are the conference champions, boys golf is 4-1, girls tennis is 14-3. Girls cross country placed 3rd at Tiffin Carnival, with Sarah Peer placing 1st as an individual. Boys cross country placed 5th last meet at Bruce Lynch Cross Country Invitational. Jeremy placed 6th with a time of 17:31. Catch Demons football tonight as we face Bay Village. Tonight, you will get back the Little Brown Jug. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. sharp at Bay Village. I had a chance to catch up with the boys cross country team.
This year our main competitors are Bay and Rocky River. They're definitely really strong teams, but we got a great shot at beating them if we keep working.
How do you keep mentally strong throughout the race?
We pump each other up. We have our teammates, we have our competitors. We stay strong through the race that way. We're fighting for spots, so anytime there's someone in front of us, we go after them.
Before the race, we usually have a huddle, and we usually have a person kind of like pump us up, like give us a pep talk. So that really pumps up the team for the race and makes us like get in that mindset.
What would be the longest long mileage run you guys have ever ran?
We used to run 11. This year, the most we've ran is 10.
See you later, Westlake High School.
This has been Hannah Conforto
And Kay Namey with the WHBS TV Friday Morning News.